My name is Kala, Arvind Kala. Here's my two-bit advice to Mr. Modi. Mr. Modi, anytime you meet country leaders overseas or you go to these regional or world events, please wear a black suit and tie. And I'll tell you why. The simple reason is that is the standard dress of all country leaders. Now we saw that quiet elegance of Trump's coronation the other day, and that pageantry and that those singers, etc. And beautiful it was. The whole world watched it, and I'm sure Mr. Modi watched it also, probably live. And here's my question to Mr. Modi and to everybody else. To everybody else, I'm just pointing it out. There are 80 to 100 men or 200 men, country leaders and distinguished people of the world. Did we see a single man in any suit, any clothes except for a dark suit, dark black suit or dark gray suit and a tie? And here the women have liberty to wear what they want, though that's also restrained. But with men, no. Mr. Modi, you see, insists on wearing his Indian attire because he thinks that he wants to emphasize his Hinduness. Mr. Modi, here's my question to Mr. Modi. Mr. Modi, do you think Xi Jinping doesn't want to emphasize his? He doesn't feel the need to do that. Putin does not need to emphasize his Russianness. Nobody else, a Japanese doesn't need to exhibit his Japanness or Japaneseness. So why do you have to do this, Mr. Modi? Why do you need to stand out? The Western culture is that of merge and blend. Do in Rome as the Romans do. That's the standard thing, particularly in the upper echelons of society. That's why, when you go back to pictures of the Russian leader, Khrushchev, Nikita Khrushchev, 70 years ago, he's also wearing a tie. It's the dress of the world. And every country leader wears this. Now, when Mr. Modi insists on wearing those clothes that the world country leaders regard as the clothes of a buffoon, Mr. Modi, you're placing yourself and India in the crowd of Arabs and Africans. Do you notice one thing? Not a single African leader would be invited. Saudi Arabia, MBS could have been invited if he wears the normal suit. But because he comes with that, and you stand out like a sore thumb. Now they don't want that. They want an elegant gathering. Yeah, these are very fancy people. Every guy going here, there, everywhere in a jet. They're already very restrained, and when they smile, now all these leaders, they smile and they pat one another on the arm like men do. But Mr. Modi, he will laugh raucously because I can make out his. I can't hear his laugh mercifully, but then he. I get the feeling because he's got a radiant grin when he goes overseas, which stretches from one ear to the other. And that's to cover his nervousness. You see, Mr. Modi feels insecure among all these people, country leaders, who are so confident and tall and this thing and sophisticated. And Mr. Modi somehow feels lacking in that, and rightly enough. Now, Mr. Modi, another reason for this, Mr. Modi's different kind of attire is because, when he goes in India, India consists of heterogeneous people, different people. So when Mr. Modi goes electioneering in Gujarat, he'll wear a Gujarati this headdress. When he goes to Punjab, he wears a Sikh turban. But all these countries, they don't. Have you ever seen Trump in anything else in any headdress, or Stamia or Boris Johnson or any of them? Not at all. So Mr. Modi, in fact, the White House has a social secretary which briefs the country, a country on the, that Trump is visiting or Biden is visiting or Obama or Clinton, whatever. So they brief you on that because Trump would not want Modi planting a Naga headdress on his head and giving him a spear Trump would become a laughing stock in America forever about how Modi made Trump look like a fool. So these are cultures with great restraint, and we should see that. But Mr. Modi is used to some other kind of thing. What he does not realize, Mr. Modi, is that the nation's strength comes from its economic strength and military might. Now, if India doesn't have that, which it doesn't, then you don't cut it, man. You don't cut it. How is it that Trump, Xi Jinping, the Chinese president, he was the first person to receive an invite from Modi, from President Trump, President-elect Donald, and he chose not to go, not out of insult or whatever. He is not interested, or he was too caught up with other things. Putin also was invited. Now, talking of clothes, have we seen Putin always in a black suit and a black tie? He doesn't even vary his tie. So Mr. Modi's the idea should be to blend with all these people. Don't stand out like a sore thumb, as I said. Now, this is very important. I'm convinced that Mr. Modi, if he had dressed like Western leaders do, he may have been invited. After all, New Zealand is just a country of 5 million people, which is one-fourth the population of Delhi. Now, if the Prime Minister of New Zealand was invited for Trump's coronation, why not Mr. Modi? Mr. Modi's clothes are to blame. Now, here I'll pose a question. Mr. Modi, do you think that your bureaucrats and your foreign and ambassadors don't know that you dress like that? But they don't want to tell you because they're not interested in India's image and your image, etc., etc. They're interested in their own position, because they know that Modi likes sycophants, so they'd much rather be sycophants in a high office than rebels, going on a motorcycle, like that. So nobody tells him, and he's too arrogant and egotistical to learn from what happened. I mean, anybody would know. Hey, Mr. Modi would be thinking, why don't they come call me? No, Mr. Donald Trump didn't call you only for this reason. He wants, this guy is from Mar-a-Lago, and, while he inherited 400, these are sophisticated billionaires. And another thing is, yes, this is standard way. I'm repeating this. Men, they shake hands. Each man taps the other fellow warmly on the arm, or he puts his arm around you. Now, Mr. Modi hugs like this. He envelops you in this kind of hug. Now, the other chap can't hug him back. So Modi trusses up the other guy he's greeting. So this is very, very off-putting, and for 11 years my life has become hellish, because anytime I see Modi on TV or social media, he's hugging somebody who's squirming in his grasp. I mean, what's the point of all this? Economic strength and military might, that is what the world counts on. You see a tiny country like Taiwan, it produces 90% of the world's microchips, and microchips are an element which go into everyday goods. Now, Taiwan is more important to the world, the island of Taiwan, than all of India put together. So it just comes from your ingenuity, what you produce, what you don't produce. Have we produced a TikTok? Now, China produced a TikTok. It's a Chinese company. And Samsung and all, Finland produced Nokia, etc. We are nowhere. We don't have a single product or service that has become world class. Not a single one. Bata, we think Bata is very great. Bata people, the world said Tata to Bata years ago. Most stuff has come out is Reebok and Nike, which rule the world. Well, I've gone off point, but this is Mr. Modi must learn. He watches TV. He's very, very self-aware of where he is, and unfortunately, he gets a wrong idea of his own importance. Mr. Modi, you have no importance, because let me repeat for the third time. Importance, country's importance comes from economic strength and military might, and we have neither. We have neither. Well, friends, I've said enough. Please share this video with whoever you know, etc., etc., and please subscribe to my channel. Right, oh, so it's time for me to say farewell. See you later, alligator.